Very good afternoon to all. Most welcome to this very important topic of three lines of model from IIA, which they have revised from three lines of defense model in the last year. And basically, it is as an internal audit professional, all of us, for all of us, it is important to understand the framework which is helping us in designing our internal audit systems. So when this model was introduced, the then IIA President and CEO Richard Chambers, he has mentioned in a statement that the three-line model has been largely viewed as the basis for sound risk management and for implementation by organizations on both reactive and proactive basis. These updates help modernize and strengthen the application of the model to ensure its sustained usefulness and value. It is very important to understand this statement from Richard. It is saying that the implementation should help both organizations as well as the internal audit profession from the point of view of its sustained usefulness again to both and addition of the value for both of us. So it is important to know the structuring of the model, and also we all know that there was an existing model that is called three lines of defense model, and we understand the comparison of this model. Friends, since this new model was issued some time back, most of you must have read through it or studied it, or even some of you have done in-depth understanding of the same based on the literature and data available on the public domain. But it is important that we understand the complexities and peculiarities of this model from the expert, and also from the point of view of its Indian scenario implementation. So to explain this, friends, we today have Mr. K.V. Mukundan, veteran internal audit and governance professional, who will elaborate on this important development and clear our all doubts, queries, etc. in the implementations and understanding it. A brief introduction of our learned speaker. Mr. Mukundan is a Chief Assurance and Risk Executive at All Cargo Logistics Limited since 2010 and has more than 3 decades of versatile experience in manufacturing, consulting with Big Four and service industries. He is a rank holder chartered accountant, a certified public accountant, CISA, CISA and CIA from USA. He was honored as Chief Minister's Fellow by Government of Madhya Pradesh for innovating suggestions in the field of accounting in the year 2002. He is currently on Board of Governance or of IIA Mumbai chapter and is currently serving as a treasurer of IIA Mumbai chapter. He is a member of Governing Council of RM Next. This is an informal forum of risk professionals, and he is a member of ASSOCHAM, National Council for Internal Audit and Risk Management. So, as a Chief Assurance and Risk Executive, Mukundan's current responsibilities include overseeing the assurance and risk function for the Avashya Group, consisting of All Cargo Logistics, EQ Worldwide, and Gati Limited, and other joint ventures and subsidiaries. And he additionally is a Chief Ethics Officer and handles the role of whistleblower complaint management for the entire group. So friends, we will probably not have any other expert, and it's our good fortune that we have none other than Mukundan to explain this very latest but most important concept for all of us, which will help us in understanding our position as an assurance officers, design the right assurance and governance model within our company, and help management to understand the importance of this. So with this brief introduction, I request Mr. Mukundan to take over. And friends, we will have the question answer sessions after his learned talk. And the participants are requested to put their questions in the question box on this platform. And we will take up most of the questions and which will be answered by Mr. Mukundan. So welcome, Mr. Mukundan, and participants are also welcome, and I thank them for participating. Over to you, Mukundan ji.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very warm welcome to this session on IIA's three-line model. I'm very much overwhelmed and humbled by the number of registrations and participants. Thank you very much, Nilesh, for introduction. And I am introducing my colleague, Mr. Vinay Agarwal, who is helping me with the slide changes and the poll questions. I will switch off my video so that all of you can see the full screen, and we will go ahead with the presentation mode, so that all of you can see the full screen at this particular moment in time. I would like to start with a disclaimer that yes, not necessarily the views are exactly the same what IIA paper on 3 lines model. There will be a lot of involvement of each and every one of you. There will be a poll with 12 questions. In the entire process, it is an exchange of learning, and all of us learn with collective wisdom of those who are participants in today's webinar. Want each and everyone to actively participate. Even if it is a crazy idea, do not hesitate to talk about it, and these can become great ideas. It may not be possible to implement whatever we are talking here, lock, stock, and barrel. This will give you broad pointers which may be considered and updated from time to time. Each and every business environment, you may have to tweak these parameters. It may be difficult to classify what is wrong and right, and what would have been successful in one environment may not be successful in a different environment. Request everyone to put forth your questions through the question, the window for the questions. The direction of the webinar can be decided by the participants through the poll as well as questions in the chat window. Some of the pointers we may have to discuss even before we start the discussion. So there will be some background which I would like to explain this context and everything. Then we will have some poll. Then we will come to the real, session where 3 lines model related specific topic. But definitely that background, I understanding the concept of Indian level of implementation of 3 lines model, I would definitely like to have that background for everyone, refreshing these ideas and as well as making the poll very effective. Fundamentally, it is a governance model. It tells us how to structure ourselves about the governance. So one of the biggest difference between the 3 lines of defense, which is the first one, and 3 lines of model. So as rightly pointed out by Mr. Nilesh, when Richard talked about, it was focusing on the risk management and risk aspects of it in the 3 lines of defense. Now in the 3 lines of model, it is focused on the governance. Governance includes risk management as well as much beyond the risk management. So that is where the entire structure is at. And finally, it is all talking about the governance structure. And in this whole process, many of you, because particularly I come with the old school of thought where there is a lot of changes when I started the internal audit professional, which I was today the position which I am holding. So which is one of the biggest changes about the moving from the auditing to the assurance function. So these are some of the changes in line with these 3 lines models have come. Many of us, we may have to unlearn the things what we have been doing in the past, and we may have to learn new things, the way in which we may have to do it. It is also additionally, we have to be conscious of the fact that the corporate failures and shareholders activism, all these things were not there much in the past. Now, what is the responsibility of the internal auditor in such a scenario? What is the public perception of an auditor? So there is one is our internal stakeholders, and other one is about our external stakeholders, particularly in the public. When something goes wrong, what is the public perception about an auditor? What the newspapers talks about? What is their opinion? Who will drive this implementation of 3 lines model? How many of us have been able to successfully implement this? So this is where Vinay has already moved to second slide, but this slide is only for the purpose of refreshing your memories, and we will come back to this slide at a later time. So till the time, this is only for you. So this also indicate what is the old model, which is the original model of 2030, the 3 lines of defense model. And on the second part, it is also showing what is the updated model, that is IAS 3 lines model. So this is just only to refresh you, and nothing. We will be talking about this more in the subsequent slides. Vinay, we can go to the slide number 3. So let me talk about the history of these things. 2008 financial crisis. That is where the starting point of the 3 lines model. Subsequently, in 2013, the European setup of IIA, they published a paper on this particular subject. Subsequently, IIA adopted the same. Now, if I want to tell you more, it is not that the starting point of 3 lines, where you probably, whether it is defense or model, we will get that discussion later. But let us talk about 3 lines as a concept. This was there even much prior to the 2013. This was there because in one of the article it is mentioned about that it is more than 2 decades, even when 2013 article was published and adopted by IIA. Prior to that, even 2000, about 2 decades ago, all these articles or the concepts were prevalent, these things. And even if you look at some of the articles published by the professional bodies those days, 2008 and 2009 and all these things, you can see these particular Booz and Company, KPMG, PricewaterhouseCoopers, all these people have published various articles on this matter. So 2013, IIA adopted this particular paper published by the European arm of the IIA. And but these concepts are there, prior to this as well. That is what the one which I wanted to tell you. I also wanted to tell you this is a different concept at this particular point in time. Whenever a scandal happens, all along, if you look at the history, there have been always, there were our professional standards have evolved, but there were professional bodies who have, came up with multiple things. And even when many other standards which were there prior to existence, prior to the scandal itself, which was not getting attention at that particular point in time, have been getting attention to that. For example, in 2002 or 2000 to 2002, that is the time when Sarbanes-Oxley Act came, and the COSO framework was the one which was mainly came into the limelight because of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. Though it was not mandatory to adopt COSO framework, but that became in the limelight. Now, COSO framework was in place in 1992 only because of the Sarbanes-Oxley, and Sarbanes-Oxley came because of the various scandals, and afterwards, COSO framework got a lot of attention to this. Similarly, 2008 financial crisis, and subsequently the professional bodies came up, and particularly it was driven by IIA, and it was mainly in the banking crisis. So this was mainly, though in the IIA paper it doesn't talk about anything specific to the BFSI sector, that is banking and financial sector and insurance sector, but mainly if you can see that this is mainly adopted by the BFSI sector. So again, 2008 scandal is the reason. At the same time, all these things were there even much earlier than this. And before I come to in this particular area, I would also like to tell you that it is not only if I would like to put this word, the lines, which is common in, so here the lines are, the word is used in the concept of layers, and layers are nothing new. Layers are there, you can see in every walk of our life, and we will get to 1 or 2 examples on this. Then we will, before we get into these things, we can go to the next slide, Vinay. So this is an example of layers in packaging. So you can see that a bottle, there is something where there is a thermocol which is inside this one, which is protecting the bottle. Then there is a cap on it, again it is made of plastic, and then there is a carton can be sealed and it can be made into a pellets. So there are multiple layers to protect the bottle. So bottle is first protected by a thermocol, and thermocol is again protected by a carton, and carton is again it is made a pallet. So this is just an example. So it is not only in this particular case of our governance model, layers are very layers here. I am interchanging the use between the word between the layers and the line. So another example is is about defense. This is where the olden days where there is a castle, and then there is a moat, and there is a bridge which is a removable platform. Once it is removed, then you can always see that there is people, anybody, any enemy who is coming to attack, they all can be attacked from the inside the castle, and they will be at a disadvantage. So this is here again the multiple layers have been used. Now let us see what is on the risk management side. There is one more example, so we can go to the next slide, Vinay. So this is, maybe you have seen this, and this is again taken with I have already mentioned in the source from where it is taken. This is Swiss cheese model. This is for the purpose of the risk management which is being used. The Swiss cheese model of accident causation is a model used in risk analysis and risk management, including aviation safety, engineering, healthcare, emergency services organizations. So this and also principles behind layered security. It is also used in the computer security and defense in depth. Whenever we use human systems in that is where each slice of the cheese they have replicated as human. That is where multiple slices of Swiss cheese stacked side by side, in which the risk of a threat becoming reality is mitigated by different layers, one behind another, and so on. So that is where you can see, and particularly this has been described in today's context. I could get this good example where there is particularly on the COVID, you can see there is a personal responsibility. There's a shared responsibility, and the red line, what you can see, if these holes in the cheese, and if each of these cheese is represented by a human being. So this is where the layers are used, and finally it is seen in this picture that this human being, it is protected with using different layers. Of course, there is a personal responsibilities and shared responsibilities, which is mainly driven by the government and society. You can see this. So this again, all these things available on the public domain. There is nothing which and this concept has come, if I remember correctly, this has come somewhere in 1990. This is somebody by the name, let me get the name. Okay, James Reason. So he has published this particular document. So what you can see the difference, the first two, whether it is a packaging or the castle protection, mostly it was objects. Humans were there, but their limitation was, the involvement was significantly less. Now let us get into the next slide, where we are talking about when layers are applied where mainly humans are involved. So this is where the example of Swiss cheese model, where it is mainly humans are involved. Okay, it doesn't mean that nothing else is involved, but mainly humans are involved. So the first two example with the third example, that is what one of the difference. And this can be very easily, we can relate with the governance model of any organization for that particular matter. That is why this slide is very, very important from that particular point of view. So what is the difference when we are able to talk about the difference between when humans are mainly involved and vis-a-vis the others are the only objects are involved. So in a governance structure, this is the one which will be more important at this particular point in time. So a few 2 or 3 points which I have noted, particularly when humans are involved. So studies have repeatedly shown that the time pressures significantly impact the decision accuracy. Under pressure, we are more likely to rely on impulsive, low effort behavioral responses, dedicate less attention to the situation in front of us. What is more, an increased pressure upon employees to be constantly connected on the go means go to the means where their attention is not based on analytics, it is based on the impulses. That is the first disadvantage of more involvement of the human. Second one, when you are tired and stressed, because this can always happen when you are in the morning hours, when you are taking decisions in the afternoon, when you are sick, or when you are in the evening hours, or when you are working even on a holiday when you are forced to work. So when you are tired and stressed, we are less likely to question the legitimacy of the messages and miss the cues that signal a threat. We are also much more impulsive when we are tired, making it harder to resist the urge to respond to a tempting or persuasive request in a phishing email. So they will always come, there is a lottery, there is, something for you, there is a COVID health, there is a vaccination, there is this free tool available, and so on. So that is where, again, you are not you are not able to apply your, the analytics, the decision making, and you use only your reflexes. The third one, this is where more, when you work in the office, but most of us are working from home, probably at this moment in time, but at some point in time, this is based on some research article where, how far our attention is diverted for multiple things. Office noises, that is 37%. Colleagues dropping by, 34%. Email notification, 30%. Meetings, 26%. Notifications on the personal phones like WhatsApp and many other messages, there is another 20%. So when we are juggling with multiple tasks at once, employees will likely to rely more on habitual behavior rather than engaging in analytical thinking. This makes businesses more vulnerable to threats over email, given that the person's ability to focus is impaired. So now you have to be more careful when we talked about the examples in the governance structure, decision making, which is we have a lot of involvement of humans, irrespective of the fact that we have automation, we have artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, other things. Okay, so this is where the context, this is one of the important slides I just wanted you to emphasize, because this will also help you in the subsequent slides, when we are particularly at the time of polling. We'll go to the next slide. So what is the important, the next slide is talking about what is when humans are involved. Vinay, you can go to the next slide. Just give me a second. Yes, you are already there. Thank you. Maybe there is a confusion at my end. Apologies. So this is the photo of a book cover. Author's name is Charles Perrow, and the name of the book is Normal Accidents. In his book Normal Accidents, he raised hackles in the organizational science circle by suggesting the accidents happens in complex organizations. In Perrow's view, people know they are not perfect, and neither are the machines. And this I am talking about mid-80s. The machines of current on that day are completely different. Okay, so you have to give that benefit of doubt when this author has written this particular book. Okay, so what is not perfect, neither are the machines, so they compensate by adding layers of redundancy, making those systems very complex. So generally the layers are not independent to each other, which limits their effectiveness. Moreover, when the people know redundancy exists, they tend to relax their vigilance and assume someone else is on full alert. So this is where, so we are on a situation where for governance, we have about human beings, and when human beings are used in layers, we can become, relax because our vigilance, because we assume that somebody else will do. And I'll just give you one or two examples so you will be able to more relate within your organization. So in general, almost all bank signatories for the checks, or today if you do internet banking, most of the organization will have, there is more than one one signatory, definitely at least for some amounts and above. So still, as internal auditors, we might have seen, even the maker has supposed to check it, they are supposed to be checked by the checker, and they are signing as their the sign of there's a token of their verification. Afterwards also, as an auditor, you may find there is something has gone wrong. So somebody has to be given, say, 1 lakh, he has been paid 10 lakhs. So now what maker and checker has done, so check signatories, it is a problem. The same thing can happen in vouchers, so wherever there is maker checker are involved in this particular area. So what I would like to tell you is that you may find that there are the Charles Perrow's article, book on normal accidents, where he specifically emphasize wherever there is a redundancy exists, we may tend to relax our vigilance. So this is something which I want to bring up, and these are the based on some of these activities might have undergone changes because of the current level of automation or artificial intelligence or machine learning was not in existence, but most of us may experience this. We'll go to the next slide where we will talk about I was talking to you about a poll, and that poll will be my colleague Mr. Vinay Agarwal will help you. Vinay, you would like to take over from the poll side, give the instructions?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thank you, sir. So I want, I can see current attendees 192. So I want all the participants, they can use their mobile or they can use their laptop and just put a website menti.com. Just try your laptop or mobile and put a website menti.com, menti.com. And moment you do that, there will be a code that will ask you that put the code or enter the code. There will be a message, please enter the code. If all are on that screen, then if you can see the screen, the code is mentioned 8271 6506. So I want everybody, all the participants, currently 192, to go to their mobile or laptop, put menti.com. There will be a message, please enter the code and put the code 8271 6506. And you will be in the poll and you will wait for further instruction. Till the time I do not allow poll, the poll will not start. So if you're getting a message, you cannot see the question or edit the question, don't worry, you are on the right page. Now we are going to the poll. I assume everybody has logged in and have entered the code.
So you can refresh your page so that you will see the full question. And I will read it. Can you we don't want to start the voting. Before that, we would like to read out the question. And so before Vinay, I hope that we can start they can see the entire screen, because at this moment in time,
in their mobile or laptop, they can see the screen, and the voting is closed, so they will not be allowed to vote as of now.
Okay, so the question is like this. You will be I think there is a small window which is showing that this question is not open for voting, because I have also opened simultaneously on the mobile, which I can see. So let me read out the question for you. It is the context I will explain to you. The question is, a question is visible on the screen. What do you feel about the knowledge of stakeholders such as CFO, audit committee, board, promoters, HR, public, etc. about the 3 lines model? So this is the question for the polling. There are 3 options available. So the context in which this question is asked is that it is necessary for an internal audit is working on an environment where are internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. So that is the basis for this question. So we would like to have you poll for this question. There are 3 options. You can select but the best out of the 3 answers. First one is, the answer is they hardly know anything about the 3 lines model. This type of governance structure was never known to anyone outside the internal audit. The second option available to you, that they are fully aware and set expectations, roles and responsibility, particularly when something goes wrong, and actions affect relevant lines of based on the roles and responsibility. So if somebody is responsibility the primary the process owner, then it will affect that particular person, or the second line where something has gone wrong, or the third line. Because with the characters restrictions, we are not fully able to capture these things. So that is why I'm explaining you. The third option available is that there is a limitation of this particular software. There are some characters limitation. Third option is they are aware, however, no actions to discuss and or implement the same. So there are 3 questions. I hope the question is very well clear to each one of you. Vinay, you can open the question for polling and request everyone to poll. So sometime probably you may have to
I have started the voting. I have started the voting. I just want all to refresh. Moment to refresh, it will be open.
No, when it is question, it is refresh also, it is showing that it is please wait for presenter to open it.
Yeah, already people have started voting.
Yeah. Now it is okay.
Yeah, just select one of the option and submit.
So you have to select and submit. Now
already 78 people have voted. 78 people have voted.
So we are looking at 194, and I believe that each one of you should have been able to say it. By any chance, if you are not able to do it, go to the menti.com, menti.com. The code to be used is already mentioned. It is 82716506.
Perfect.
So it is also on the screen. You are able to see. So I believe that you should not have any difficulty. 124 people have already voted, but still there is many more people, and we would like to have more participations. Means it will be more. You will get an accurate results. More participations will be able to give it. So that will be something very good.
130 people have voted. We can wait for another 5 to 7 seconds.
Yes.
I can see people are still voting, so we'll wait for 2-3 seconds more.
Yeah, please, no problem.
Yeah, sir. Can we show to the result? Because 140 people have voted.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So
So we have mixed results, as expected. We have there are about 41 and 55 and 66. So the first one, it is so the best thing is that they are fully aware of it, and set expectations on roles and responsibilities. It is something very good as far as the internal audit is concerned. So outside the people are aware of it, but 46 and 41, it is a matter of concern. So one category they are not aware, and other one is they are aware and they don't do any actions relating to that. So we can go to the next question. So we may have to press refresh. Vinay?
yeah.
The screen.
So still the voting is closed. So you will not be able to allow to vote until I allow it. So now the question will be visible to you, but voting is closed.
So the second question, by any chance, if you are not able to read, you can refresh the screen, and then you will be able to see on your screen. So the question is, regulatory activism is highest level nowadays, and what do you feel about the knowledge of investigating agencies about the 3 lines model? Apologies for the spelling mistake. The options are we are repeating the same answers. They hardly know anything about the 3 lines model. They point the finger on the internal auditor and often arrest, harass, and leaving them the other lines. They are fully aware and set the expectations and roles and responsibility, particularly when something goes wrong, and actions affect only the respective lines only and not anybody else. Third one is they are aware, however, never take cognizance of the same. So I believe the question is very clear to all the people. This is the previous question was more of the other stakeholders. Here, this is more of the regulatory agencies, and because it directly affects each one of us. I hope we can open the question.
Yeah, the questions is open now.
Sometimes it may take, because of the internet speed, and it may take a little bit more time for you to get into the screen where the polling can take place. So request everyone to wait, so you can refresh maybe 1 time or 2 times or 3 times. So it may take sometimes 10 to 15 seconds for you to poll to get into the screen where polling is possible.
Yeah, 78 people have voted, so we're counting on.
You have to select and submit. You have to select the answer, and you have to submit it.
110 people have voted, so we're waiting for a few more.
Yeah, a few more seconds will be, but we are looking for everyone to participate. 194 minutes, and I am looking for that time. when all the 194 are able to vote. So that is something very, very, it will help us to get more and more accurate results. It is 126. It is not going beyond 127. I think we should go for the
Results.
Yeah. So here, again, we have a different combination. So the interestingly, it is 55 people have voted that yes, 56 rather. They are fully aware and set expectations on the roles responsibility. That is, the regulatory agencies, when they make an inquiry or anything, 56 or 57 people, they have voted that yes, they are aware of it. So whether it is any of the regulatory agencies, it may be SEBI, it may be Economic Offences Wing, or it may be anybody else. Okay. And the other two categories, again, it is a big concern, 51 and 22. They are not aware of it. And 22, even if they are aware of it, they don't want to take cognizance of it. So this is again, a scenario where, we have to work with the ecosystem as an internal auditor, as a risk manager. The governance structure has to be according to the ecosystem of the country or the geography in which we may have to work. We have to consider both internal stakeholders as well as the external stakeholders. Go to the next poll question. This is more to do with our own function. How many of you have, combined responsibilities of line 2 and line 3? So here, examples are internal audit and risk management, or internal audit and internal control, or compliance. A combination of any of these things, that is a combined responsibility. And there may be many other departments where there are clear-cut functions. There is a separate department of internal audit. There is a separate department for risk management. There is somebody other than internal auditor who is taking care of compliance, and similarly internal controllers and everything. So this is the question. Very easy to answer. So we can open the question for polling.
Voting is started.
Okay. So I believe that here, at least, I am expecting that 194 people will vote. Very easy, very simple question. I am expecting everybody to vote, and I encourage everyone. By any chance, again, I'm repeating, any chance if you are not able to open in your computer or the mobile, go back to menti.com, MENTI, menti.com, and put the code on the top of the screen, 82716506.
So details are there on top of your screen. Still, it is there on every slide.
Those who are not been able to do it from the earlier screen, only just press refresh. I'm looking for 192 voting here. 192 participants are attending the session. So still we have already reached only 135. And those who are not the chief audit executives or something, they can vote based on because they all know what is the structure of their organization. So that is what is important. So look at from that perspective, because some of you may not be having that responsibility. You may be only an internal auditor, but your boss may be having the responsibility of the risk management or the compliance or whatever it is. Or there may be 4 departments under the internal audit chief audit executive, where the risk management is also handled by him, compliance and internal control is also handled by him. Yeah, I reached 140, but my dream figure was 192. I think we cannot spend more time in the interest of time, so we please open the. So results are that okay. This is again interesting. 77 people have voted that yes, they have a combined responsibility, and 63 very clearly. So that itself indicate that yes, definitely there are many organizations where there is a independent responsibility, good sign. But at the same time, in all these cases, it depends upon the size and complexity and size of the organization. So good results on this. Thank you everyone for voting. Go to the next poll question. So this question is slightly, I would like to explain this in the sense that what should be our approach during internal audit of a department which are not touched by line 2. Examples I have given. For example, there may not be, for the departments which I am referred here, example HR, administration, or information technology, there may not be any, they may not be touched by the second line. There may not be any risk management on day-to-day basis, though they are supposed to manage the risk. There may not be any quality control or operational excellence which is affecting their day-to-day activities. Or similarly, any other, quality control, operational excellence, risk management, all these things may not be having. This small may be there for multiple other functions, but may not be for some of the support functions, as I have mentioned here. Now, the answers mentioned here is first one, we don't have this situation. And for practical purposes, we prepare our audit program as if we perform the combined role of second and third lines. Here, this question is applicable for both the departments where IA has combined responsibility, IA has no combined responsibility. That this question is basically how do you prepare your audit program, and you will find that some of these departments, there is a line. For example, you are going for an HR audit or an IT department audit, information technology department audit. How will you do? Because their active actions are not generally touched by the line 2 functions. So that is what is mentioned over here. The second option is that we prepare different levels of audit program to avoid overlap with second line for type of activities where 3 lines and second line defense takes place. Second line is in place. So for example, if there's a manufacturing activity for which there is a second line already in place for like a quality control, each and every of product or raw material which is going to the production, there is a second line activity happening, and they are consistently there with each and every activity. So in such cases, do you prepare a separate audit program? Because here the assumption is that there is no overlap. You have access to each and every information of the work done by the second line, and that is the reason why you are going for an audit program, assuming that you have already the access to the information and you are avoiding the overlap or your audit effort. So that is the second option. I hope the question is very clear. I am repeating this preparation about audit program where line 2 is effectively working and where line 2 is not in place or it is not effective. That is what is the question. So if wherever line 2 is effective, you can opt for the second option. But line 2, wherever it is not effective, that is, we don't even take cognizance of their existence and we prepare the program as if every responsibility is us. In that case, then you have to opt for the A option. So question can be open for the poll.
Yeah, voting is started, sir.
Request everyone to vote, because your voting definitely matters in the sense that that is where the accuracy of results, more participation, more results, better results, accurate results.
Last 5 seconds we have.
You have to vote and submit. There's a button at the bottom, submit. I think we can open the results. So again, very interesting results. So we prepare different levels of audit program. So this indicates that there is definitely we have proper interaction between the line 2 and line 3. So that is where you have proper access to the information. 72 participants have mentioned that it is they can make separate audit programs and they have access to the information what is already prepared by the other second line in the example which I talked about the quality. Go to the next poll question. Thank you everyone. So very interesting results. So the next question is about do you feel our value creation activity in majority of the cases will be taken away by the second line and only value preservation is left for us? Here, let me explain to you what the context in which it has come. So nowadays, most of the IAA session or any other session, you talked about internal audit, there is an expectation of value addition and value preservation. So there is a lot of pressure on the internal auditors. What did you do throughout the year? And most of the time, if you simply say that, okay, my job is only assurance, I have not been able to do any value additions. The moment there is a second line comes, because in the past there was only 2 lines, that is the process owner and we as internal auditor. When the third line, that is middle line, came in between, so that is where these questions and the expectation from the management has also gone up significantly, where as value internal auditor, what value addition you have brought into the company. If you simply say no, my job is only assurance, probably they may listen to you, but that is not something which is not very much appreciated. So in this case, what that is the question is that because of the involvement of line 2, and they may take away most of your provided the value, the most of there is an implementation where line 2 is covered in each and every activity. So that is where, that is in that context this question is asking. So please answer yes or no. So this is where the question can be open for the poll.
Just give me a second.
No problem.
Yeah, it has started.
Request everyone to vote fast, because in the interest of time, we have to we have to cover a few more slides. After the poll there are 12 questions. This is probably 4th or 5th.
We have question 5.
This question 5. Okay, good.
I am showing the result. People can still vote.
Yeah. So interesting. So again, if at all this is a concern, 66 people feel that there is no concern. We will still be able to do our value creation activity. Anyway, value preservation will always be there. Only 50 people will are feeling that yes, there is the value creation activity can be affected by because of there is an involvement of a second line in the middle, which is between the process owner and the auditor. Okay, I think we can go to the next question. So this question is about because there is a lot of pressure on the internal auditors, to cut the cost, to cut the manpower, cut the traveling, and so on. So implementation of here the question is, do you agree with this below statement? Implementation of 3 lines involve additional resources, tools, training, revising roles and responsibilities, and creating infrastructure. So just to give you an example, so if you need to have in the internal auditor currently, if somebody is doing the role of compliance, risk management, the internal control and the internal audit. Now probably you may need 4 or 5 HODs for this, and there may be paraphernalia under them, the people under them, they may need relevant software specialization. Some of these combined software also, they may not be able to do it. So it may need the overall expenditure. So in some context, probably big companies, complex companies, these are more required. But at the same time, there may not be any, because they always have a very large size setup where they can always split into this. But this is more to concern with the medium size and small size companies. Small size means, it may be, anything around say 1,000, 2,000 crores or 10,000 crores up to 10,000 crores or sort of companies. That is what I meant in the turnover size. This one. So that sort of companies where I am referring today, we have small size audit departments, and where this one. So question can be open for a poll.
Yeah, it is open.
May I request you to speed up the voting, please, so that I can get into our subsequent slides. So that is a little bit more interesting, and we have to definitely give some more time for questions, because I know that once we complete the session, you will have hundreds of questions, and it is very much healthy to have that discussion, and we should be able to answer for these questions, because in the whole process, all of us will learn more and more.
Hundreds of you have voted. Keep voting.
The number of voters have come down. Participants are remaining same, but voters have come down. I believe that it's not too much boring. In the interest of time, let us declare the results, and simultaneously people can do for voting. Yeah, it is almost 50-50. So the management is willing to yes, and management is not willing to invest their own. No, with existing resources can be managed. So bigger companies, definitely it is good. But now I think definitely there are some companies, though we don't have a definition of the participant list by company wise, but definitely it is a good sign that definitely it is almost like 50-50. So good sign. Okay, let us go to the next question, please. So we are into 7th question. So as I mentioned to you, this is more of the BFSI where the scandal started, and the regulatory requirements are also coming more, particularly to implement whether it is Basel III norms or the similar banking regulations or the BFSI sector. So 3 lines of structure is mostly successful in BFSI as initiative taken by regulators, wherein most of the cases are mandated to have line 2 and line 3. So we are asking you whether do you agree with the below statement. It is only because of the regulatory interventions and BFSI where there are other regulatory agencies are not asking it. You are a manufacturing or a service sector. So please give your and this is a very simple question, and I think this can be answered very easily, yes or no. The question is, 3-line structure is mostly successful in BFSI as initiative taken by the regulators, wherein most of the cases are mandated to have line 2 and line 3. So if you agree with that, you can opt for yes. If you don't agree, please select no. Go to the next. So we'll wait for polling. Sorry that I told you to go to the next, but we'll wait for the polling. Thank you, Vinay, for not moving forward without the poll. We have 5 more questions and I want you to speed up, please. I don't want to cut short the time for the question answers. You can show the results and simultaneously polling can continue. Okay. So here it is it is very crystal clear. That is the 69 people have voted yes, and 27 people have only voted no. So that is something. So the regulatory intervention is something which is helping them for the implementation, but not necessary for the other matter. Okay, we can go to the next. I believe that there is no more poll, but we can go to the next question. So 8th question is about, did your organization classify all activities of all core and support functions? So core activity may be manufacturing, sales, procurement. All these things are core, and support functions may be administration, information technology, finance, and all these things may be like this. So the question is, did your okay, there is examples we have given core and support functions. So core here it is procure and sales, and support function is IT and HR. That is the way in which it is mentioned. So did your organization classify activities of all core and support functions mapping line 2 function touching across the entire organization? So there is line 2 for every function, IT, HR, every function there is a line 2. Okay, that is what is intended here. If the answer is yes, then yes, effectively we have no activity which are not touched by line 2. So every, at least there is 1 or 2 line 2 activities, and which is more or less working. Like when they are working, it is automatically there. It is not that an IFC testing which is happening only at the year end. That is not the intent here. So IFC testing may be there, you may be covering HR also, but an activity like quality control or an operational excellence or anything is there for the HR or information technology. Here information technology is a support function. It is not like an information technology company like Infosys or TCS. So they may have it because for them it is a core function. So that is what is. So here I have intended the support function. So yes, effectively have no activity. So open, you can open the question for polling.
Yeah, it is open. It is open. People can vote now.
Yeah, please. Number of participants remains same, but number of voting is coming down. I hope everybody can do it. Please log into menti.com, menti.com, and use the code 82716506. It is interesting to participate in voting, and nothing is mentioned over here in the sense that we don't know who has voted and what, because it's completely it doesn't only indicate, it's only indicating the collective results. It doesn't indicate that so and so has voted for this or the otherwise. That is not this one. So don't worry about the confidentiality. I forgot to disclose that that statement earlier. So here we have no more voting happening. It is 88 participants. So 52 voting say yes, effectively we have no activity which are not touched by line 2. Second is no, we have multiple activities not touched by second line. So very interesting. So let us go to the next polling question. So the next question is very simple. How can we make 3 lines model popular? I want you to be very careful while voting. Very interesting question. It's not tricky. So one option available in front of us is convert the existing 3 lines guidance to a standard, and IIA to collaborate with all other professional bodies to make it popular. So all of us know that today it is not a standard, it is only a guidance white paper. or a guidance. So it is not mandatory. The second option is that there is no need to undertake such an exercise and existing governance models are sufficient. So this indicates that if it is a standard, all of us have to mandatorily follow it. If it has reached a maturity level where everyone can follow it, then definitely we should, go for the option number one, and otherwise, we should go for option number two. So that is where and it is not something, these flexibilities have been already given in the IIA, but what is our opinion? That is what it matters. Poll is open for question. The question is open for polls. So you can open the results and people can continue to vote. Okay. So there is a majority opinion that's convert the existing 3 lines guidance to a standard and IIA to collaborate with all other professional bodies to make it popular. Now, very interesting discussions, when the initial first slide and second slide, where we have talked about, the ecosystem in which internal auditors are working, the results, what we got there is always here. There is definitely maybe my, the immediate assessment is that, definitely it is contradictory, but very interesting. Thank you very much for participation. Because when the ecosystem is not appropriate, I feel that, it may not be have reached a maturity level where we can directly bring in these standards. So, but this is my opinion, and I don't want to involve, my opinion. That is why we did not want to, talk anything about before the polling happens. So once the polling happens, then we can definitely, and I am sure that there will be many more questions which will come up during the question answer session. Go to the next question. So particularly this is more for the different organization structures, different geographies it works. So particularly in the US and Europe, you may find that, I don't say there are no family promoted companies, but there is many companies, there is a distinct classification between the investors, those who are shareholders or the promoters, and the executive management. But not necessarily in Indian companies. Most of our companies are managed where promoters are involved. So promoters may be taking executive position, they may be chairman, managing director, or executive director or CEO or whatever the name is. But where you may find many companies, I don't say all the companies in Europe and US, that definitely there are companies where there are also family driven companies are there, but you will find much more, in comparison to India sort of setup, where it is completely professionally managed company. So that is the context with this question. In US and Europe, governance code like 3 lines model makes more sense to protect the stakeholders, as promoter and executive management are different. So here in India, it is expectation is that, Indian promoter is there, and he, because of his ethics and other things are perfect, they also take care of the promoter, because by taking care of his interest, as part of the executive management where executives are managed, so he ensures that the stakeholders interests are also protected. That is what is and you have to see that it is as a stakeholders, not only the shareholders. Okay. So, and options, there are 2 options. Yes, in India generally promoters are part of the executive management. The second is no, it doesn't make any difference to any geography. So question can be open for,
Yeah, question
it
is
already
open for
open
voting.
for.
I'm
People
displaying the
can
result.
continue.
People can continue to vote.
So again, we have 48 and 38. So 38 people feel that okay, it doesn't matter whether it is geography or the structure of the manual, where the executives are available. It can be there. Okay. So 89 people have voted. If anybody is pending for voting, please expedite. Within 2 seconds. We are switching over to the next question. Go to the next question, please. So where control or process failures or fraud happen, questions raised such as where are the internal auditors and what are they doing? So somewhere you have to visualize that these questions have come, but sometimes you are in a good company where these questions have never come. So we are talking about how do we deal with these situations, rather how our ecosystem is dealing with the system. So one is that yes, the answer is that we have undergone such difficult questions or visualize such questions if anything goes wrong. So we have implemented 3 lines model, something has gone wrong, and the questions are asked, where are the internal auditors? Other questions are not, questions may be asked, but it is not loud enough, whereas there is definitely a questions where are the internal auditors and what are they doing. Okay. And the other case, the option is that no, we never had such occasion in the past, nor envisage such questions, as management is very clear of the internal audit. Internal control is the responsibility of the executive management. That is day-to-day internal control is the executive management. And if you are able to demonstrate that yes, you have taken the reasonable precautions, and you have taken your work papers indicate that you have taken the right sample, right methodology, and these things were not coming into your it didn't come in spite of the fact that you did a good audit. So whether then these questions are not asked. So that is what is this question is. Question is open for poll, and it is something very. And again, I am telling you that who is voting what is not known to anyone. So feel free to open this question with open your heart, and then so what I meant is internal control is executive management. That is a line 1 and line 2 functions. It is not the line 3 function. So again, we have very clear cut this one. So there are large number of people have voted yes. We have these difficult situations. So this is again, this is my own interpretation. If there is a maturity in the organization where all of us are ready to convert this into a standard, or all of us are ready to implement these line 3 of lines 3, then the ecosystem has to be in the other way. If 70 participants feel that these difficult questions are coming on the internal auditors, so that is where definitely some of these results are not some of the questions have not been. So I have purposely put these questions so there is a clarity coming in this, and people are not this one voting just like that. So again, it is indicating that definitely it is a concern area. You can go to the next question. So this is the last question, if I remember correctly. So in the sum up, again, carefully answer this question. Do you feel your organization has reached a maturity level to implement 3 lines model of governance? So that is, so governance is a larger picture. It is not only about the risk management. Okay. So the answer is yes or no. It is very simple, and this is the concluding answer. And you can open it it is already open for the poll. very interesting. This is like the poll exit polls which came yesterday. That is, many of the states it is indicating there is a close, fight. So here also it is same thing. Very interesting. Yeah, interesting. So both sides, it is almost 50-50. Interesting. So thank you very much. We are coming back to the slides. A very interesting participation. We will see, if how this can be, even these results, how this can be communicated, for a detailed analysis by, this one. So we will see how this can be, published in some form or other, so that because it is a very, very valuable document, that because each one of you are contributed, and it's very interesting to see that. So this is a slide which I definitely would like to. Now I'll be running a little bit faster because I don't have much time, because I definitely would like to, see these questions. Mehnaz, whether we can extend 10 minutes or so, I really don't know whether because of these things.
Sure.
As you can, will we
Yes, sir,
will be
we
able to extend it 10 minutes or so? Okay.
Yes, sir, we
Okay.
can.
Okay. Thank you very much. But still, definitely in the interest of time, because many of you have any other engagements, I will try to, quickly run through, and so that we have more time. So this is what I had promised earlier, that we will come back to these slides. So this slide basically introduces both the IAA paper which has introduced, that is both model 1 and 2. Basically, first line, it is talking about functions that own and manage the risk. The second one is talking about the functions that oversee or who specialize in a specific aspect like compliance, internal control, risk, or whatever it is. Okay. And the third line is the independent, assurance functions. So that is what it is talking about. Now, ultimately, the entire concept is on the fact that any single layer may be flawed. That is only one single layer. And most certain way to find the flaws is to be compromised. So a layered model ultimately should be able to provide enough certainty to the organizational goals. So that is what the purpose of the governance. The organizational goals are achieved. There is more certainty to it. The term layered concept doesn't refer to the multiple implementation of the same basic tool. Now, this is very interesting. I have picked up one example. For example, if you have one single computer, and you are implementing two separate antivirus software, one is Comwin and other one is AVG. Now, that is what is not the layered concept, because, or similarly, in the same, even if you are implementing the similar software for the similar purposes, or the same Comwin is implemented in the twice, that also is not what is intended by the layered security. That is simply redundancy. It is not layering. So layers are about multiple types of measures, each protecting against a different vector of attack. If the attack is the word used by the computer security use terminology. Here, in the organizational governance perspective, it is increasing the certainty, but not repeating the same activity done by the same. So line 2 is also doing the line 1 function. Then it is not what is. It is redundancy. Then it is line 1, within line 1 you put one more redundancy. That is not the one what is intended by these 3 lines model. So layered concept arises from the desire to cover the failing of each individual component. Okay, by combining the components into a single comprehensive strategy, so as to make the whole of which is greater than sum of its parts. It is people, process, technology are different for each of these layers. So the skill set what you get for a line 1 is different, line 2 is different, line 3 is different. I will also like to give you one or two examples, rather 2 examples where this type of structure can fit in. Now, again, I am repeating this. We will not be able to apply this lock, stock, and barrel. For example, in one of the big 4 accounting firm, I worked in US, as part of the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. So I was surprised, after going from Indian environment and going to a US environment, how a client's acceptance and execution procedure happens. Suppose a new audit assignment comes, how does it happen in US? And this I am talking about 2005-6 area. Maybe something might have undergone changes at this particular moment in time. So in Indian setup, many of you have worked with Big 4. Many of you will be continue to work with Big 4. Always there is a client partner has always a responsibility to get more and more business, execute the business, and so on. And the moment he gets an audit, he definitely must be doing the initial checks, but how it happens in US. the moment he has his own targets and everything, in spite of the fact that he do these checks and balances, there is an independent risk management department within that big four who doesn't have any target for the the business the audit fees to be collected, unless and until risk management clears. And the procedure is also very clear, where they go to the previous auditor's office. Previous auditor, they will open their all working sheets and everything, for this particular. It is very common. It is not like a simple issuance of a NOC letter. They open all these work papers for you. You sit in their office, they give access to you, you ask questions, you get. And it is a activity which they spend about 50 to 60 days before issuance of an acceptance letter to the client. Okay, today the client say that I have been me as an auditor has been appointed by them. So you can imagine the intensity at which a client acceptance partner definitely would have done these checks, because there is definitely a lot of pressure from the regulatory agencies. But there is an independent risk management who is no way responsible for this, and it is enough manpower where they go, they sit, look at the working papers, and the other auditor, previous auditor, also shares all these things. Then assuming that is accepted, then there is an audit execution happens. After audit execution, there is a quality control. Again, they are not responsible for any of the targets, or their target is only how many quality control they have completed, not for the revenue, not the number of clients, and not for this one. So the entire activity is sequenced in. There is a client acceptance procedure, there is a risk management before which they give the clearance and activity. Audit execution happens, then there is a quality control. Afterwards only the audit report is issued. So this I am talking about a big four accounting firm where there is a procedure happen. When this is the sequence is being done, these are all done through workflow methodologies, and not through email mechanism where the things are not transparent, where each one of them is able to utilize the work of other person, and they are able to avoid any overlapping of the work. Assuming there is an internal auditor for that big four, to assuming that they are looking at how the audit has been looked at it. I don't think it is there, but I am just taking giving this. So it is a very fair to have a proper where the entire work itself is mapped between line 1, line 2, and line 3, and there is a complete communication channel. They use the same software, and there is an access across this one. So this is a particular case where the 3 lines model can be very easily implemented without any difficulty, and it has a lot of merits when it is implemented like that. But whether your industry, your service sector, whether you will be able to do this, it is very difficult. You may have to look at this thing, and you may also need many of the technological changes what you may have to do it. Similarly, another example which I would like to talk about, a banking credit proposal. Banking credit, many of you must be from the banking credit areas as well. So where a credit proposal is a credit officer and the hierarchy within him or her, they clear the proposal. It comes to the risk management, again through workflow mechanism and not through the email mechanism, where half of the things are not transparent, and anybody can share these only the selected emails and communications. Then when these 2 lines are completely in a line, an inspection or an internal audit department can always utilize the resources of the line 1, which is the credit officer's job, and the line 2, which is a risk management job. There is a separate dedicated because of the Reserve Bank of India guidelines, and the line 3, which is the inspection or internal audit department. They can always take care of this. So this is another second example which I can talk about, where 3 lines model can be very effectively implemented. So I already talked to you, Basel III or Solvency II, all these things are where there is a lot of activity. But in the same bank, where can we do it in an HR or an administration or information technology department? Again, as I told you, here it is support function. At least the environment which I have seen, the challenges will be there where there is no second line, or it is not effective. There is no workflow mechanism. It's all done on the email, and it is not transparent to share the workflow, but done by different lines. Moreover, most of these activities are on the emails, and even ERPs are not designed in the manner in which we would like to implement a 3 lines model. So if at all we want to plan this, there is definitely technology has to be complementing, and we may have to change the existing technology investments, whatever they have been made, and management must be willing for these things. So when these entities work together, I was talking to you the example of the Big Four as well as the financial, the credit proposal. When these entities work together well with healthy interdependence, internal controls are strong, reporting is accurate, ethics are maintained, oversight is effective, risks are mitigated, and investments are protected. Good organizational governance is simply good business. So you will definitely find areas where this can be implemented very easily. You will also find, areas where you may not be able to find this can be, so how this can be made successful? You need a proper environment, you need regular monitoring, and I will come back to this on the regular monitoring, because humans are involved, regular understanding, framework, and changes in the leadership level. So I just give you an example. When the election commission was manned by TN Seshan, it was a different, many of you may know him, I mean at least heard of him. So it was a different election commission, and today the election commission is a different election commission. So there can be power centers within all these three lines, and this can all create haphazard in the chaotism in the entire setup. So you have to be very, very careful, and so there has to be entire the governance model, the oversight by the board, oversight by the HR, oversight by these things, the CEO has to be very, very careful. So even some slippages here and can make this governance doesn't work properly. There is also a big article by Deloitte where they have mentioned that this was published in HBR, Harvard Business Review, where they talk about that, if anything is within your department, because when we are talking about three different models means, three lines of models mean there are multiple departments, and within the second line there are multiple departments, there are first line also there are definitely multiple departments, I mean products and services, so it is quite possible that there can be somebody who may have a system wherein they will be coming and they will be calling the shots, and this can upset the entire the synergy of the system, the alignment of the system. So when you are implementing, regular monitoring is very, very important. You cannot just leave it, implement, and forget about it. So that is not something which have to be so it is always going to be an evolution and not a revolution. And even when it is evolution, it has to be stable. That foundation can go haywire the moment there can be a little bit of here and there. You can go to the next slide. I will run a little bit much faster because this was one of the important slide which I just wanted to do. So this slide is talking about, if when we are for the mechanism which I explained to you, the line 1, line 2, and line 3 model. So where an internal auditor or anyone else in the organization feel that there is no other option than to blow the whistle, that is probably it is a different concept. But let me first come to the other point. I'm sorry for running it a little bit faster. So if we are implementing the banking model or the other model where I have talked about before, this is where line 1 resources are used by line 2 and line 2 resources are used by line 3, and whatever is remaining, it is a residual risk. But the biggest challenge, because this is again written by Richard Chambers, if I remember correctly. So there is a system of whistleblower. So whistleblower of not within the company. So Securities and Exchange Commission in the US, they have a whistleblower mechanism because finally they are the guardian of the investors and the listed companies. So if an internal auditor is not listened by the board, and finally there are instances have happened, and if they have to go to a whistleblower mechanism of the Securities and Exchange Commission, then it is a situation where all three lines of defense have failed. All three lines have failed. So that is something very, very important. So it is, you have to be very, very careful about it is also when if the lines 2 and line 1 are silent, then it is also time for the internal auditor to reach out to these lines why it is silent. So that is also very, very important on this. So now I can jump directly to the question answer, or one or two more slides are there. So I believe there is, I know we may come back, we may look at the question answer, and then we may come back to some other slides if at all it is this one. So in the interest of time, if the time permits, I have one or two more slides. So Nilesh, you can look at the questions, how many questions have come, and how, and more people can also ask this question at this particular point in time.
Yeah, Mr. Mukundan.
Yes.
I will just go through the questions. So there is one question from Mr. Kaushal Patel.
Yes.
I'll just read out. For making
Yeah.
3 lines model effective, should the respective responsibility be implied with adequate policies and procedures, or should it be explicit by different modes of communication at periodic intervals, reminding the respective stakeholders on their roles and responsibilities?
So thank you very much, Kaushal, for this question. So it is, when the management controls, when it is talked about and the internal control, the line one. So it is the responsibility of the management to come with the policy framework relating to that. But it is much more important for the governing council, which is the board of directors, to ensure that these things are monitored. So that is where when I explained you the TN station example of the election commission and we saw with the current day, because organizational changes will happen. All of us are holding some roles at this particular moment in time, but not necessary that we will hold the same role. So it is very, very important that there has to be management controls like policies, framework, and everything. There has to be oversight by the board and the HR department, so that if these communication and then technology where the workflow mechanism, it is not the email. Responsibilities are given. It is not supported by the technology. It can fail from the day one if it is not supported. Thank you very much. Appreciate your question.
Yeah, thank you, Mukundanji. The next question is from Mr. Manish Gupta. The question is, in my opinion, second line of defense is experts like quality department, and internal audit is also required to audit the second line of defense.
Yes, that is very clear that today the risk management, for example, when the combined responsibilities happen, how will you look at the effectiveness of the risk management mechanism? That can be done only by a third party. So you may have to engage a third party, not the in-house team, particularly for this thing. So definitely, when an audit as a mechanism, there has to be an audit of the, finally, when what are we looking in the audit procedure? If everything is working perfectly as intended, so that roles and responsibilities are there for a quality department or it is for a risk department. It is there for everyone. So I fully agree with you, Manish, and thank you very much for this question. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the next question is from Mr. Chandra Prakash Parekh. What is the difference between updated and original model? Quite a big question, a simple question, but quite a big answer. So that is
So
what Mr.
can you
Mukundan
repeat the
tried
question,
to
please?
explain. So basically,
Can you?
difference between updated and original model.
Okay, so because I would have wished to give you a little bit more detail about answer for that, but what I can tell you that the first thing when the Nilesh started the question, they talked about primarily it was intended for the risk management and the 3 lines of defense. Okay, and now the second that is 3 lines model has come more for the purpose of governance. So it is much bigger in scope and it is not only for the risk management. So the internal auditor's role was much less in the previous one because it was intended for better risk management, whereas in the current model it is internal audit role is because we are definitely part and we are the custodians of the governance. If any collapse happens on this particular area, we can do it, but there may be a few more things which I can just so earlier they were using for the defense and as well as so the criticism was it is opportunities are not covered. So the example is what I talked about an audit execution for a big four accounting firm. It is an opportunity, and even also the second example, a credit disbursement, it where the deserving party, it is an opportunity mechanism. It is not only a defense model. So there are definitely about there, and they have come up with around 6 principles. Earlier these principles were there earlier, but these principles have been picked up and codified at this point in time. I am not saying that these principles were not there earlier. So these things are available, but it is I may need definitely 1 or 2 hours to explain what exactly have gone up, changed in the new setup. So these are 2-3 things which are key things I am talking about. it may need much more elaborate discussion. In the interest of time, I am not able to do it now. And thank you very much. Appreciate your good discussion.
That's right. Yeah, that's right, Mukund. This is quite a wider topic of comparing between the two models, and a lot of research is going on that. Uh, the next question is it's an interesting question. What are the attributes that may impair the three lines model?
So again, very good question. So some of these questions, which it is like a very, very delicate model. So if anybody, out of the entire chain, they pull their power center, a turf war happens. He or she maybe somebody, maybe a CEO, or he is maybe a quality head or risk management head or somebody who is known to the promoter. And all these things do happen in our setup. So definitely, it is a very, very delicate model, and without a governing setup, why it is successful in the BFSI sector is that BFSI sector is highly regulated sector. So there are the internal controls mechanism. Even in India also, it has become so much tightened. So you might have heard a fines imposed on the banks. For example, the KYC norms were there long ago in the banking sector, but till a few years ago, there was no one who fined them. Earlier also you were, but today it is one of the important activity. If you want to go to a bank and you just want to open an account without a KYC norms, it is just not possible. So it is very, very important that these aspects are taken care. And if there is a tough war happen between where particularly regulatory mechanism is not in place, it may not happen in a regulator sector, because the regulations will take care automatically, internal regulations and external regulations. So banking is such a very highly regulated sector. So if it is highly regulated, you can say that it can reasonably successful. If it is not regulated, I can tell you that this is very, very delicate, and it needs the board buying 100%. And board also, they have to somebody. It cannot be that independent directors or audit committee chairman come once in a while and they attend the board meeting and they go back and they come only for the next meeting. Then it will not work. They have to be very, very careful. It is very, very delicate, this one. And if it is a very, very balancing act with the multiple departments. So that is what the Deloitte this one, if the research publication talks about. If something, suppose if I want to talk something to Nilesh, my friend, and he want to help me in his department, means he will 100% help me. But the moment he went, and it is something good, for example, I am asking about the sales order, and so he will simply say that okay, yes, let me talk to my sales department, and sales department should be generally excited if they are getting an order. So, but I can tell you that the experience says that even in such a setup, so it is a fair chance that about 20 or 30% that Nilesh can get that particular person to get the things done, even in a sales department. Now, if I want to do a favor of something else beyond that, then it is far, far difficult at all. So it is a very, very delicate subject. And thank you very much for this question. Very interesting.
Yeah, the next question is from Mr. P.K. Ranganathan. Where do you fix in CISO in the three lines model, the Chief Information Security Officer? Is he in the second line or in the third line?
So it should be always in the second line only. So it cannot be on the third line. So the security, even in if you look at the first one, that is three lines model of defense, security is part of it is clearly defined in line 2, and so that security includes the physical security and logical security. So CISO is part of the logical security. Thank you very much for your question, Mr.
Shankar. Next question is from Mr. Joshiraj Paul. What is the role of internal audit in auditing ERM with respect to the change model?
Internal audit in auditing CRM?
ERM, Enterprise Risk Management. ERM,
okay.
Enterprise Risk Management.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah, so we have already answered this question, because the effectiveness of because finally it is a governance model. It is part of a important pillar in the governance risk management. If it is managed by anyone else, or even if it is managed with a combined role model, I really believe that it has to be audited. So the only question is that you are going to audit yourself. If it is in the combined model, is not allowed because it doesn't give the independence. If it is managed by a separate department, you should definitely do. Not necessary in all these areas. Audit necessarily doesn't mean that you will audit it every year or every day or every month. So depending upon the maturity, even you can do audit, because for example, I can tell you that some of the countries, we as a company are spread over multiple countries, about 84 countries plus, and we don't audit all these countries. So I am in charge of the global audits, and we don't audit all the countries, even as an internal auditor, all the countries every year. So because based on the maturity, we have decided we have multiple frequencies on which somewhere we may do it only after 3 years or 4 years, because the control systems are working very satisfactorily. So similarly, in risk management also, if you have a reasonable comfort that it is working satisfactorily, you can go for a longer frequency, that is 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, but I agree that it has to be audited. Thank you very much for your question, sir.
Yeah, how successful is three-line model in India, as most of the companies are promoter driven, hence not professionally managed?
So in India, this is my opinion, and definitely that is where I got controversial results in the polling. My opinion, three lines model is not successful in none of the companies I have worked. It cannot be that successful. It's not that easy. This is my point of view, and it cannot be even successful, because I worked in 5-6 companies, and none of these companies, it doesn't have, there is no focus, and it is at this particular moment in time, it is only known to the internal auditor, not anybody outside. Rather, when I publish this in the LinkedIn, some of my CFO friends asked me, not only from my company, there were many friends in this one. They asked me, boss, what is this three lines model? So they asked me, and they did not know even what is the concept itself. So my assessment of my friends, whoever is talking about internal audit community, by and large, they are aware of it. So many of the independent directors, if you talk about, probably even they may not be also aware of it. So based on that, my personal feeling is that it is not definitely, it is not something which can be very easily implemented. But based on this banking sector, or this some of these big four methodologies or information technology companies, there may be better maturity on a selective basis. But if you look at based on the number of companies, or number of enterprises, then this can be done only for a 5% or even less than that. That's the insight. And thank you very much for your question. Very interesting.
So I will take one last question.
Yes.
This is interesting and will be of concern to many of the participants. Referring to 2020 model, if third line collaborate with the management, then how can the third line provide independent assurance? Could you please clarify and give example the scope of collaboration?
Very interesting
So basically,
question.
we're talking about the arrow between the management and the...
Yeah. So very happy, very question. This is something very interesting to discuss, and I can tell you that there is no right or wrong answer for this. In every environment, there can be different answers for this. So when I talked about that when it has moved from the audit to the assurance, similarly, there is a movement happening, and many of you must be feeling that this is the way in which some of these audit committees or some of the management, they were talking to their chief audit executives. You have to be partner to the business. Okay, now you have to be partner to the business. Now, how can you be partner to the business? Partner means you have every stake in the company. If you are partner to the business, your independence is lost. So it is, if you and me are doing this particular business. But I can tell you some examples like this. So let me put it this way. I don't know, many of you might have heard this concept of the New York police motto. New York police, their motto is serve and protect. That is what is their motto of New York police. So what it means that you have to serve them as a partner, okay, but you have to protect your independence. So this is something. So in the partner means, so this is a concept. You have to think through: is it possible? It is not possible. It is So you have to be very careful about this one. So, but definitely some organizations, you are able to be doing it. And I will tell you a small example on this. suppose you are fully backed by the CEO or the chairman of the company, board and other people definitely are there, but definitely they feel that from that particular point of view, I am fully back you, and you can be making all unpleasant things, for them, but finally you are doing in the interest of the company. Governance is your objective, and if somebody is backing up you, so if that is a situation, you will not have any hesitation, to do this particular activity where your independent need not be affected. But at the same time, there can be a scenario, okay, all of them in paper they say that you are independent, you are reporting to audit committee, everything. At the same time, your appraisals, your leave, your traveling bills all are approved by, or it has to be going to approved by the CFO or anything like that. Then it becomes a very difficult situation. So there is no right and wrong answers for this particular question, but it's very, very interesting, and this must be in the heart of all of us, at this particular point in time. So it is very difficult to give a one right answer for this. So this is definitely, I would like to, this is my point of view.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mukundan. So basically, in this last question, the collaboration doesn't meaning that we listen to the management at all times. Basically, there are a lot of opportunities for collaboration. Like we do the internal audit risk assessment without management, without interacting with them, it is not possible. And it is not that like whatever management is telling, we are listening. Whatever management is taking, telling us is taken as an input, but it is important to take that input, and finally we have our own independent call whether to go in that direction or not. So this is how the collaboration is meant in that model. So if we don't collaborate, then we may be off track and we may not be aligned with the risks which business is facing. So to understand those risks, we need to have continuous collaboration with the management. That is what probably addition to what Mr. Mukundan has explained. Thank you, Mukundan. I will now request Mehnaz to run a very, very short poll on behalf of IIA to take the inputs on this session before I conclude with a vote of thanks to our learned speaker. So, Mehnaz, can you please do the needful?
Sure, sir.
Yeah.
I request everyone to vote, because this definitely helps, because I am also part of the training committee along with Mr. Nilesh for more and more programs. Request everyone to vote for whichever way it is. It is not that it helps us to do the right way of assessments. I hope everyone has voted.
One more is there.
Request the participants to wait for a few seconds only, just to complete the voting, because most of you are there, because a few minutes ago it was about 131, now it is 121. Request you to complete the voting, and then we all, I know that I have taken some extra 15 minutes of time, so apologies for that.
Yeah. Thank you. One more is there. Okay.
Probably this is the last one.
Yes, sir. This is the last one.
Yeah. Thank you, Menas. Friends, it was an important discussion, particularly in the scenarios of rising risks across the industry. And it becomes an important aspect for internal auditors to follow some standard rolled out governance models. And before that, to understand in depth the pros and cons and intersections within the management, as we were Mukundan was explaining, and the questions also were directed to that angle. I thank Mr. Mukundan for his time and a lot of efforts which we can see in putting the polling questions and the presentation slides in a very, very lucid and understandable manner, and giving a lot of examples to explain the concept. Friends, this has really taken a very hard work. The concept of poll, I could see some comments that there were some comments like it is very long and all, but it was actually self-explaining, and it was making ourselves think on this model and try to reach out to the solution, supported by Mr. Mukundan's explanation.
Vinay
So
Agarwal.
thank you,
Vinay
Mr.
Agarwal.
Mukundan, and Vinay also. Yeah, I am not forgetting him. So Vinay, thank you very much for supporting the presentation and putting up the questions and presentation. Thank you very much. A lot of
Pleasure,
thanks
pleasure.
goes
It was
to
my pleasure
Menas.
to be a part of the panel and provide the assistance in whatever capacity. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Vinay, and thanks. Our thanks goes to Menas, our administrative backbone, and also our technical team in putting this webinar in a seamless manner. So thank you very much, and thanks for staying in the extended time. We will have more such interesting webinars coming up. So stay tuned, stay safe, stay home, and take care. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Appreciate your time.